The Chiefs just got a big win last night on Monday Night Football over the Commanders, 28-7.
That's a W.
We asked you for your questions, comments, and concerns, so let's get to it.
Before we jump into those, if you guys enjoy the content, hit the like button and the subscribe button.
Before we get going, we got a little bit of bad news to share with you. Tom Pelissero come out and said that Isaiah Pacheco, who left Monday night's win with a knee injury, is considered week to week with an MCL sprain. So this isn't the greatest news going forward. Might the Chiefs look to free agency to get another running back, or do they have to rely a little bit more on Brashard Smith and Kareem Hunt going forward? Maybe we finally see Elijah Mitchell get called up and get some action. Who knows? But we'll keep you updated going forward. Let's jump right into it.
We're going to kick it off today with Brother Binus here. It says Kareem Hunt is the most underrated player on this team. We need to keep him here for as long as he wants to play football. Having an elite short yardage back is a game changer. I really like the more aggressive play calling.
Binus, appreciate the comment. I do share the same sentiment as you. Kareem Hunt has been pretty good in a Chiefs uniform. This goes all the way back before he got kicked off the team the last time. He actually passed Saquon Barkley last night in total touchdowns. He scored his 68th and 69th total touchdown in his career. Barkley only has 68. So that's a pretty cool little fact to kick it off with. I think Andy Reid and Matt Nagy are to give props to in this situation as well. They've been more aggressive on these short yardage plays. They've been giving the guys more opportunities. Anytime they get on our side of the 50, they're going for it. They're putting Kareem Hunt in good situations. They're putting the offensive line in decent situations, and they're just saying, look, go out there and create a hole. Kareem Hunt, you're patient. You can hit the hole. You hit it hard. You go out there and use your field vision. You pick up that yard. You pick up that 2 yards, and let's move the sticks. And Kareem Hunt's been doing that. I certainly do believe Kareem Hunt is a spark in this offense, and I'm glad he's here.
Kareem Hunt is a dog, brother.
Kareem Hunt and the Chiefs have been more effective in short yardage situations than the freaking butt touch and tush push in Philadelphia, believe that or not. And they don't even have the refs on their side letting them false start.
Next question from our boy Danny Pomeroy. He says, do you think that the way the Chiefs play to their competition is a coach or a quarterback-driven problem?
Dirty Dan, let me tell you something. I think it's a little bit of both, because I think all it is they don't match the intensity of these teams coming in to play their Super Bowl. That's all it is. The Chiefs have to get that intensity up pre-game. They have to come out firing with the same energy, and I think they would be okay. You saw last night they came out, had a super slow start, and let a team that had no business being in the game at halftime be in the game. Then they kicked it up a notch and just completely blew that team out, who I thought they were going to blow out the entire game. But they can't have slow starts like that against better competition, so hopefully they can get that worked out.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I think that there's a little bit of both here. I don't think the Chiefs started so much as slow last night as we think they did, as they just did not execute. In the first 2 drives, they only ran the ball, I want to say 4 out of 15 plays. So they didn't really come out and get a good balanced game right off the bat. However, Brashard Smith did fumble one of his early touches, so Andy Reid kind of went away from the run game. And then we've seen 2 interceptions, one by Kelsey flipping the ball up in the air and another by Mahomes. The guy got away, Lattimore, with a little bit of a, maybe a little grab or maybe a little something. Maybe it was just a bad throw by Mahomes on the back shoulder there to Hollywood. But either way, I think the interceptions, the almost fumble there, I think that started to make it look as though we were a little sluggish. And maybe we were, but I do think they scored a touchdown after that. And then the second half, you see them turn it on. The Chiefs ended up scoring 28 points plus over the last 4 or 5 games in a row now. And that's the 60th time since Mahomes has become a starter back in 2018 that this offense has put up at least 28 points, which leads the entire NFL. So there's not a problem with us putting points on the board eventually. But yes, I'm with you. We do have to start it out a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. We need to match that other team's intensity. And again, like Steve said, it's just everybody else's Super Bowl, and the Chiefs have to adapt to that. And we have to do it quickly because we got to keep this ball rolling and the momentum on our side going forward.
Up next, we have Backlong McCall. Backlong McCall.
Big dong, big long dong, McCall.
With Simmons and Smith out, we saw Mahomes pressure a lot more. Which of the two were more responsible for it? And can the O-line hold up versus the Bills? Yeah, so this was a common sentiment across Chiefs Kingdom last night. We also had Dwayne Wilson Jr. that said, yeah, Trey Smith and Josh Simmons are essential to this offense. We ain't getting anywhere without them. We also had Billy McKell, or Mr. Bean, if you check out the profile picture, said we need Simmons and Smith back ASAP. So it did appear that sometimes last night the offensive line was struggling a bit. You saw Jalen Moore in the first half getting worked a little bit, but he adjusted just fine. I think we saw a little bit more pressure than we were used to this season, as Patrick Mahomes was scrambling on 28% of plays last night, which ties the season high there. He also took 2.95 seconds on average to get rid of the football, which was also a season high. So obviously missing two starting pieces of your offensive line is not ideal for any team. However, I do think that Caliendo and Jalen Moore have both done a pretty admirable job at their positions over the last few weeks as well. I don't think if they miss against Buffalo, that's the end of the world. And I also think at any given time, it's nice to have those kind of depth pieces. I think overall they've performed pretty well.
Yeah, so I agree. Mike Caliendo had his worst pass blocking game out of the two starts he's had now. He actually had 5 pressures on the night. He gave up 3 hurries, a hit, and a sack. So he didn't look too good there in the first half, but he did pick it back up in the second half. Jalen Moore, on the other hand, he started a little shaky. He got it going before halftime, so he got back in there. He actually finished with a 95.1 efficiency grade and only allowed 3 pressures and a sack. So I'd say those two were the guys that were kind of causing the problems, and I totally understand why Chiefs Kingdom want back Josh Simmons and Trey Smith. Those two are not only road graders, but they keep Patrick Mahomes' jersey clean. So I'll say the same thing as Steve. Yes, we do need to see them back if we want to continue our nice run forward. But is it vital that if they come back, say, not before Buffalo? I don't believe Buffalo's going to blow us off the field or anything. I think they can handle that defense and we can still put up points. So yes, it is a problem. Is it a major problem at this point? I would say on a scale from 1 to 10, it's about a 5 or a 6. I'm not in that panic range just yet.
And something else to keep in mind, Dan Quinn's defensive front there is actually pretty damn good. And Buffalo is missing Ed Oliver next week, so that could hurt them on the defensive line there.
But also, we've got the anchor in the middle, Creed Humphrey, and he's been pretty good. He pitched another shutout last night. He's had 1 pressure in his last 217 snaps in pass protection, dating back to week 4. So as long as Creed's holding it down in the middle, this offensive line is always going to be better than serviceable.
Creed is a dog.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
Next up, our boy Elgin Thrower. He says, between the next 2 games, Buffalo and the Broncos, which do you think is the more important game to win? The Broncos for the division or Buffalo for the potential wild card tiebreaker?
So we've talked about the Buffalo game being important just in case the Chiefs don't win the AFC West, and maybe Buffalo doesn't win the AFC East, and then that becomes a potential matchup because of a wild card thing. You don't want to be losing in that situation. However, I think AFC West comes first, obviously. We need to take care of Denver. We need to take care of the Raiders and the Chargers when we see them again. I think it's the easiest path forward for the Kansas City Chiefs to just outright win that division, and it'd be nice to see them keep that AFC West champion streak alive.
Yeah, so I think our most important game is actually our next one up. We got to beat the Bills. I think you got to win every game at this point. But in the grand scheme of things, I think you do have to put a little bit more into the weight of the Denver Broncos game. They are in our division. Right now, they're 1 game ahead of us at 6-2, and we're sitting at 5-3. And you can see what happens when you go head-to-head with a divisional rival, which we did in the Chargers, and we took that L week 1. We're actually sitting at 3rd in the division because of that. So you don't want to have those tiebreakers go against you, and that makes the Buffalo game also important because of the wild card. But to answer your question, I'll go ahead and say I think the divisional matchup is just a tad bit more important, because if you don't win the division and you can't win the division, you're playing for a wild card. We don't even want to be doing that. We just want to win the division like we always do.
Hell yeah, brother. You guys get down in the comments and let us know which one of those 2 games are more important for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then we have Ill Insanity, baby, our boy, the member here with the little gold emblem, because he's been a member for a long freaking time. Let's go. It says, yeah, so my concern is for the rest of the league. Like, what are they going to do?
Woo, let me tell you something. I don't know what they're going to do. Look, the Chiefs, again, they started super slow last night. But at the same time, was it that bad if you take the turnovers off the board? I don't think it was. I think they put points up on the board on both of those drives more than likely. So as it did look bad in the first half, the second half looked amazing. And that's what we've seen since Xavier Worthy's come back. It's what we've seen, especially since Rashee Rice has come back. I think this offense continues to get better and better and better. We start getting more playmakers involved, like Brashard Smith in the backfield. Pacheco's starting to catch fire a little bit right now. Boy, he took a shot on that knee last night. Let's hope that's good. He was up running around, but that was a hell of a shot to that knee. And I forgot that the boy drinks bone marrow for breakfast, and he's going to be good because he's a raging bull. So yeah, going forward, the Chiefs are going to continue to be hot, continue to dominate. The league needs to be unnoticed because everything in me tells me that the Chiefs are so much better than last year, and we just continue getting better and better going forward. Right now, everybody has the Chiefs either 1 or 2 in the power rankings, except for ESPN, who has us at number 6. Those slapnuts are asleep at the wheel. They need to get it together, and apparently they need to watch their own network as the Chiefs put a whooping on the Commanders.
So I think Mike hit the nail on the head talking about the turnovers there. If this Chiefs team doesn't shoot themselves in the foot, they're going to be really damn hard to beat for anyone. And here's the kicker. I don't think they're even close to the ceiling that they have for this offense. They're not even scratching that shit a little bit. They could be crazy by the end of this season going into the playoffs, and it could be a nightmare for NFL teams to try to defend them.
And speaking of a kicker, Buckers has 2 perfect games in a row. Round of applause.
Be sure to get down in the comments and let us know how you guys would have answered each of these questions and how horned up are you on a scale from 1 to 11.
That's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. Share this with a friend. We'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs.